80% of surging issues can be solved by checking that gasket stack. Cracked corn, now that's very useful for almost all of the different birds. Everybody goes down there, plus it's just the best. Yeah, that was tough on us. Well, we are back with an update on the old mower. Come to find out, the surging thing that was going on. Looked into that a little bit more. And lo and behold, one of the issues, of course, is air seeping in around where the gaskets are. So the gasket stack. We were working with the gasket stack, as you recall. I was getting all those things stacked up in there. This is in the past video, just the previous video. Anywho, I come to find out, when I pulled out this one piece in here, back in there a little ways up against the head kind of, there was a plastic piece in there. And that plastic piece that was in there, matter of fact, I've been trying to find it. I wonder if I lay it in here. Sometimes I'll do that. I don't believe it had that gasket on it up against the head, which is certainly, because I looked at a diagram last night. You can actually find a diagram of how that's supposed to be in there. And sure enough, I was looking at it, I'm going, I don't recall that gasket going in there. And lo and behold, I didn't put it in there because it wasn't there when I took it out. Or I don't remember it being there. Anyway, according to AI, 80% of surging issues can be solved by checking that gasket stack and making sure everything's in there correctly. Sure enough. There was another gasket that was in with the kit, but it had some other stuff in there too that had nothing to do with this mower, so I thought, well, that just must be an extra one. As a matter of fact, I think there was another one like this. In the diagram, though, it doesn't show that you would need another one, so I don't know what that was about, but can't find that one. I may yet go on a scavenger hunt in the garbage and take one more look and just see. It'd be kind of interesting if for some reason there were two of them, they were just slightly different, and I needed the slightly different, All right. Just go ahead, talk amongst yourselves there for a minute. I'm going to transfer this garbage from this one to this one. You can't see it probably. Maybe you can. And along the way, experience all manner of nastiness. Okay. As we look for that part. I want to see, plus that part, and also did that thing have a washer on it, the one that I took off? We have some questions to answer here. Oh boy, yeah, it's just some great aromas there. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, I see it. I see the part. And guess what? It had a washer on it, but it was like one with the, and it's all coming apart. Doesn't matter, but, oh boy. Here's when I discovered, this is the piece in question. I took that off from the, this was up against the head. So I really just didn't pay attention to the fact that there was this washer on there. Now, are they in fact Twins? Whoop, gotta go this way. And they are. Well, there you are. I'm glad we took a look at that. And, oh yeah, I got an itch. By the way, I think there must be a name that we'd have to come up for it, but anytime I put on a pair of gloves like this and doing some work, you can believe I'm going to get an itchy eye. It's just going to happen. I think there's some sort of, spirits lurking about, kind of giving me a little hard time, They're enjoying it. They're having fun. And they're annoying me, but they're having fun, That's what it is. Sure. We'll go with that. All right. Am I going the wrong way? Yeah, there goes. I had that on there pretty good. Yeah. Kind of want these to come off in somewhat of a orderly fashion. All right. Now, I don't want this thing to go off very far at all. I'm going to get in the way a little bit. I don't know how much you can or can't see now of this, but I got to get right in between here. It's already coming loose, so I might be able to. It's the last washer on the stack. Now, let's see. The next question is, let's study that a little bit. See for sure how that goes on there. You guys getting all this? There's going to be a test. Now here's what we got. I don't know if we do this any differently than we are, but you got to get down in here a little better, and it's going to block your view, but I got to get this out of here better. Well, basically, I'm going to have to release this all the way, I think, here. These screws. I can hear that red-bellied woodpecker. Watch, he's going to be chewing on the side of my house in a minute. I'd like to be up there to tell him how much I dislike him doing that. Okay, so, wow, let's see. What does this tell me? You can see exactly how that's got to go in there. Oh. Yeah. Okay. We're going to add the gasket to the stack, we hope. Got one on. Uh-oh. We don't want to lose the one bolts that are going in there. Come on, I'll get this other one on. There we go, just slip that on. Come on. Oh, it's ever so close. There. Oh, baby. Don't move. Don't say a word. Wow. That's it. All right. I say we just pull the cord and see. See if she helps out. By all accounts, that should make a big difference. All right, well, we'll go outside and check it out here and see. Well, let's see if she'll start up. Gonna give her a couple of courtesy pulls. Well, there we are. I see it's still got a bit of a surge in there, but it is better than it was. And I was looking at it too. And the next thing they tell you to look at, by the way, there's some springs in there. There's some sort of an automatic choke thing in there. I wish the automatic stuff would not be there. Whatever happened to the old days? You just had a good motor on there, basic carburetor. Yeah, no. Got to have some fancy stuff on there, and I can see that whenever it surges, it's doing this thing, with the spring that's pulling it back. That spring is, I guess, the next thing that you are supposed to maybe check into and see about changing to get a new one if it's not. Appears to be working okay though, so I don't know. I checked the tolerances on it, so I don't know if that's it either. So anyway, we'll let that go for now. She'll mow. Sounds pretty good when I put a load on it and all that. She'll run good. And I think it did start better now. I didn't try to start it the way I normally do because I thought it was going to start rough. But had I think it would have started right away. Because I think that choke is working better now. And it probably will start in one or two pulls when I want it to go now. Next time it cools off, then we'll know for sure. But I think it'll probably do that. So that would be a big win to get the starting to happen a lot easier. And probably because we did away with the excess air that was coming in through those gasket areas that was causing a mixture problem with the fuel. As Derek at Vice Grip Garage says, the fuel make it happener was getting screwed up. Too much air. So we got that sealed up better now. They're all tightened down really as good as you can get them tightened down. And so at this point, any of that surging has got to be related to something else besides that, and there are a couple of other things to look at, but we'll just let her run here for a while and see it's not terrible. It's not like I got to sit at the grocery store and leave my lawnmower in idle for a while somebody runs in and gets something. So the idle thing surging, it's not a big deal, but it was a thing, that put a new carburetor on that. Maybe that'll clean that up. Well, it kind of did. It makes it start, I think, better. So anyway, we'll call it a win. At that point, we got some garden work to do here today, too. So we're in week 4 of our garden. Week 1 was Mother's Day week. That's what started that week. And that was week 1. We planted potatoes and onions that day. So we're in week 4 now. We're coming up to a month. Is that a full... I don't have a calendar out here anymore, and I really need one. But I just know we're in week 4. So, yeah, I think this is... Well, we're finishing week 4 is what I believe, so we'll be coming into week 5 next week. So we'll take a look at the garden here, what is now a month into it. And, of course, since we put in the potatoes and the onions, and we also added in there tomatoes, cucumbers, I'm using that Arkansas Little Leaf. They're not really tickling me as the way they're growing, but we're going to throw some more liquid fire on them here again today, see if we can't gas them up a bit, get them climbing up better. We got some pole beans planted. Haven't seen them sprout yet. Boy, they're finicky, you know. They got to have really warm soil, 75 degrees or better, before they're going to sprout. So they should be coming up pretty soon. I noticed that my dill is I have dill planted, 3 rows of it, and that's just coming up all over the place. So that's looking good. Carrots so far, big disappointment. Haven't seen them coming up. Waiting on that. I think they are slow to go, and then when they go, it goes, but we'll see. And then I've got 2 different types of basil. Haven't seen that stuff come up yet. And then parsley and oregano. I haven't seen those yet either. What else? I think that's about it. I'm trying to think if I got anything else hidden in there that I forgot about. No, that's it. Well, anyway, we'll go down there and check that out here in a little bit. I'm going to throw some water on a few things here first. Let the sun come up a little bit more, dry out a little bit more, and then we'll take it down there and we'll get the old week 4 update on what the garden looks like after 4 weeks of growing. Starting from nothing until, well, what you're going to see here in just a little bit. So we'll be back in just a bit. And then my microphone on. I see them on YouTube sometimes, hanging on to their microphone. Oh, I don't know what the guy's like after he's gone around a few times in the old yard. He's just all tacky. Yeah. I feel like I just had more than if I had class. Say, hang on. I'm pretty sure if I start talking, I won't pay attention to that microphone. I don't know what to say anyway. I thought I'd just put it on. So, but we just finished mowing. One of the things too that was very satisfying, after I let it cool down, having changed that extra gasket in there, and as I mentioned, even as we were shutting it off that time, I said I bet it starts on right away the next time after I cool it down. Not only did it, started on the first pull, clean, just whoa, very satisfying. Once again, thanks to all those YouTube mechanics out there that help us learn and understand. I definitely had a little air problem in there with the gasket stack. That's new. Gasket stack. Makes total sense. I was trying to say gasket sandwich or carburetor sandwich, but yeah, it's a gasket stack. So jot that down. That'll be on the test. I should have a test. Anyway, so that worked out. But I am just soaking wet, hot, humid, guzzling some Gatorade, and she mowed up real nice. Looks real good right now. So in just a little bit here, we'll do our, the end of week 4, start of week 5 garden tour. What grew in a month down there? And what's not growing? Carrots. I mean, yeah. I never have luck with carrots. Ever. It seems. I don't know. I should just find some flowers to put in there, I guess. All right, so we'll retool here. I have to towel off. And the mower, I have to let that cool down before I put it away, but we're good for that for now. And then we'll get down to the garden. Start checking that out and seeing what's going on down there. Got a few things to do. Hey, we're back. So we're going to go and look at the garden. It's the end of week 4 on the garden, so we'll get a good idea of what 4 weeks looks like in there. Potatoes are looking great. Everything looking pretty good. I got to get a little food on them. I was going to do that yesterday. And then it rained and stuff, so that was good. But I got to get some more food on them, so I'll be doing that later today. But the one thing I had to do right now, because I was running out of stuff and I had to go out and get it, I thought, well, might as well just kind of talk that out a little bit. You might have noticed that I feed the birds in the back here, and I've been doing that for a long, long time. Been a bird watcher all my life. I think it was a bird in a past life. I'm not sure. I grew up as a young kid, living in a small town, but I worked out on a farm. My dad ran a corporate poultry farm. We had like 100,000 chickens when we were full. So I had a lot of birds, a lot of chickens. Love birds. Anyway, so I feed the birds, and in our backyard here, you know, there's some regulars that are in there all the time, it seems like. So I've kind of condensed down what it is I feed right now to crack corn. And I put that down on the ground, and I'll show you where that is probably when we're down there. I think you've probably seen it maybe, but I'll show you. So the cracked corn, though, that's very useful for almost all of the different birds. Everybody goes down there, plus the furry creatures too. So I'll tell you, and I might have mentioned it before, but what we have for furry animals around here, rabbits and squirrels are on it right away. They're there all the time. But the other furry things that we have coming through here too is deer. Not so much this time of the year, but cottontail deer. Through the winter, they'll be here almost every night for the corn. So we get a lot of deer. We have had coyote go through the backyard. Haven't seen them around for a while now, but they are useful for helping to hold down the rabbit population. We got plenty of those. Of those squirrels, by the way, we have little red squirrels and then the regular big squirrels. We had a mink go through the backyard. I've seen a possum go through the backyard. Those are unusual and rare sightings, but seen both of those back there. That's the furred critters. And what else? Well, the pileated woodpecker, I haven't seen them around for a little bit now, but the last couple of years, the parents were here with babies, feeding babies out. You could watch them feed them. Or the one, both years they only had one that I could see. I think they never probably have more than two, if any, but probably end up just usually with one. So the pileated woodpeckers, they're pretty cool. In Minnesota, pileated woodpeckers, of course, like hardwood forest, and in Minnesota there's 3 topographies, and one of them is prairie. Takes up about, I think it was probably over a third of the state, from the southeast to the northwest, farmland, stuff like that. And then right along that same line, then going north from there for a strip is hardwood forest. And then just north of that is all of the coniferous pine trees and all that stuff. So we're in the hardwood forest belt here, and that's why we have pileated woodpeckers here. So they're a lot of fun to watch, great big bird. So they come in and out, and we like to have those. This year on the migration, I did see an indigo bunting down there one day, and they've been there every year for the last 2-3 years, 1 or 2 days, and I just get lucky to catch them. I look a little bit more intently in the spring, later in May, usually too, when the birds are migrating. I know some are going to show up. One day there was a rose-breasted grosbeak at the feeder, and we've seen them more frequently. And then there's catbirds. They're pretty quiet. There's a sparrow thinking he's coming in. Don't come in the garage, buddy. But we had a catbird back there here the other day too. They normally are more, kind of a solitude type bird. They don't like a lot of people. But we had one back there. In the past couple of years, one of the rare ones that we've had back there is one day a grackle, a common grackle, a black bird, had a whole bunch of white feathers on it. So I go down to my bird store. Yeah, going to talk to the experts about this. I thought I had some sort of an albino, partial albino. And the lady there said right away, no, that's a leucistic bird. So it's leucistic. That means that there's white feathers, but it's not albino, but it will cast, white feathers. So I have pictures of a blackbird that's got a whole bunch of white feathers on it, but it was not albino, and it's a leucistic grackle. Pretty unusual, but had that back there one day. So that's kind of cool. Some of the predator birds that we get back there, the owls are back there, the big great horned owls are back there. Hear them hooting all the time, chasing rabbits around. And then we have 2 different types of hawks, and they look almost Cooper's hawk and then the sharp-shinned hawk. And one's just a smaller version of the other is what it looks like. Sharp-shinned hawk is kind of small, goes after little birds. The Cooper's hawk is a bigger hawk and goes after bigger birds. But they both eat birds. So those are back there. The red-tailed hawk took down a squirrel back there one day, so seen that. Flying overhead are eagles all the time. We have them around here quite a bit in Minnesota. They haven't come down into here, but I don't blame them for that. Turkey vultures overhead all the time too. A lot of seagulls overhead all the time, but they never come down. Not in my backyard or at the feeders. And then about anything else you can imagine that's pretty common, they're all in there. So it's kind of fun. The redpolls every year come down from way up in Canada, the northern part, almost the Arctic up there. There's 2 different types of redpolls, common redpoll, and then there's another one, I forget the name. But some of the winters that are real nasty up there will force them to come down. So about 4 or 5 years ago, something like that, they were just here in droves. They absolutely ate me out of the house, I'm happy to feed them, but just tons of them. Pretty little bird. So, but you don't get to see those very often. They haven't been back since, although some people have reported seeing some around, but I've not seen them at my feeders. And not like the show they put on that year, so. Anyway, so that's the birds, but today what I'm doing is working the birds. I had to go down and I feed black oilers also, so I went down to the store. I had to get another 50-pound bag of black oiler sunflower seeds. About everything I want to look at, we'll eat those, and then some of the birds I don't care to look at, I'll eat them too. But and then corn, I get a couple of 50-pound bags of corn. Got some peanuts because the woodpeckers love to eat the peanuts out of the paddles I have, and we'll look at those too. So we're going to work the birds first, and then we'll do a little tour of the garden and see where we're at. That's kind of the theme of this one here. Check out the birds and then the garden. So we're going to take a look at that. We haven't done that yet, so we'll do that. First thing I got to do, though, and I've been working on it just a little bit here, we got it in the back of the car here. We got to get some food out here that I bought for the birds, because I'm out. They've been looking at me and giving me a bad look, especially for the peanuts. The woodpeckers are not happy. When the corn is low, I have a lot of mallard ducks back there all the time. There's some that are there like all day long. I think they're almost tamed. They don't go very far away when I walk down there. But they'll eat that all up, all that corn down there. And then when it isn't there, I swear to God, they come up a little closer to the house and they sit up and look at the house. Yeah. Where's the service? Well, it guilts you right out, if you see that. You come right out and you take care of business. Give them their corn. Wood ducks, just the females in now, which means she's in her last week. There are 30 days for hatching. For the first 2 weeks, the male was in here with her and fighting off everybody. And then the last week, no male, and this week, no male either. So that's the last 4 weeks. The males take off and go molt with the other boys. And she's on her own. Anyway, so it'd be kind of cute if that wood duck would come through the backyard with her babies. There's been a couple of times of that in the past where the mallards have come through with babies, walking through, and the little tiny little babies following. They're cute, and I'll get out. So I'd like to see that. It would be fun to see that. Now sparrows are out there looking in this doorway again. No. Anyway, so let's get to work. Enough of this gabbing. I know when I'm watching people on YouTube and they gab too much, I go, come on, get to it already. What are you doing? So anyway, let's do that. This coffee is good. I'm going to spin you around here so you can see where I'm working. That's it. You're a little crooked here, but I don't think anybody's going to notice. So what I got going here, geez, I noticed 11 minutes of just chatting there, a lot of chatting. What I have here now is the last scoop of black oilers coming out of that, of the bucket that I'm going to refill now here. I like to take a scoop of that like that there down to the birds and stuff. I throw it on the ground rather than, then the squirrels can really get at it real easy. Not that I like to have a lot of them around, but we do. So anyway, but let's, I think we'll get the oilers out here first. Oh. Speaking of the rose-breasted grosbeak, it's that bird. That was the one that was in the backyard. Chickadees we get, goldfinches, all those. Cardinals, we got a pair of them nesting here. Get all these birds. There they are. Now, I know it seems like a real He-Man thing to dump this, pick it up, and pour it in there. You know, just go for it. But that's a real backbreaker. I got another one of those scoops. And it ain't in here. It's down in the wheelbarrow. I'll be right back. It's down here. There it is. Ooh, I'll be right. Yeah, you know what we could do too is start the long ones. I'll show you. She starts on first pull now. If you hadn't heard the news. All right, I got a scooper. This just makes this weight transfer a whole lot. Yeah, better. No, I can lift these bags. It's not a problem, but just I work out as it is. I lift weights and stuff, so I don't need to die over a 50-pound bag of sunflower seeds. Did I say 50-pound bags? They are kind of heavy. I can get them. Oh, this stuff smells good. Wish we had smell-o-vision, where you could tap something, you know, and smell what that's. Are they working on that? AI can help with that, couldn't they? I don't know. You guys, if you don't know what that smell is, then buy a bag and open it up and stick your nose in there, and then it's really nice, interesting smell. It's very nice, very good, very organic. I think sometimes about where they pack this stuff up, you know, there must be like, really, you know, train loads of this stuff. So the aroma at the factory where they're packaging this stuff must be incredible. Black Oilers, they're one of the most widely accepted seeds for outdoor birds. And additionally, they are, I think, if not the healthiest seed for them, like the second, or, you know, it's really high up there on the list. So they're very good for them, and they like them. Well, that's all I need. I don't think we're going to get it all in here, but let's see how far we get. I got some extra bins I could use. Yeah, that's going to be enough for that one. I think I'll pour the rest of it in here. It'll last for a while. That's quite a bit of it. All right. Can we make more noise? I gotta slurp of coffee. All right, so that's the Black Oilers. I made a little mess. That's what attracts the mice, you know. Well, it does. Just for the interim here, I'm just going to place this scoop in here until I'm ready for it, which isn't right now, so. All right, so that's that part. Next thing is the peanuts. The peanuts, we get to completely out of peanuts. You can see this was a very necessary run here. And I forgot to mention too that we have Baltimore Orioles out here. Feed them every day with well, grape jelly right now, but they like strawberry too. They hadn't in the past, but I've been giving them raspberry this year too, and they enjoyed that too. They're more wandering around. I got to get a cutter. So we have those, and then hummingbirds. So razor blade. Where is the razor blade? Oh, there it is. These are the bags, you know, you can pull them apart, but it would be like an explosion. They'd go everywhere. So you really can't, unless you want to pick stuff up. They're not explosion proof. If you pull them apart like that poop shit's gonna go. She's gonna go. All right, so these peanuts that I get them just from Menards, which is, if you're from somewhere else, it's like a Home Depot type place. No salt. And these are the human ones, so good quality, but shh. They sell these cheaper than they do the ones they have out for birds, which aren't as good as these. Shh. Don't tell anybody. Look in the human side for no salt peanuts. Check that pricing. Just because you're giving them to birds, they think you're gonna pay more money for them. And guess what? People do. So anyway, that's just today's tip. Yeah, and we like to provide a tip or two here and there. Yeah. All right. I gotta warm up that coffee. It'd be a lot better if it was warmer. This gets too cold too quick. But I'd love to have it out of a glass container. Those are a thermal type one, but they just don't hold it. All right, so now we got that. The corn. I gotta get one more bag out of there. One advantage to this, not quite as bulky as the sunflower seeds. The bag's more compressed, a little easier to deal with. And I forgot to mention that the Baltimore Orioles like grape jam or jelly, jelly. I don't know if you know the difference or not, if it even matters. Jelly is always made with the juice of a fruit. Jam is always made with all of the pulp and all that stuff, you know. Raspberry, strawberry jam has got all the stuff in it. Grape, made out of grape juice. That's why they call it grape jelly. There you go. Another thing, another tip. We're learning a lot. Now, by the way, and again, if you're in an area where there's a Menards, don't tell anybody about this. It's just between us. This particular size of Welsh Concord grape stuff is less priced than the tube type squeeze thing that's got like half of what this is. Shh. Menards. This was $247 or something like that for that. Yeah, that's a lot of grape jelly. That'll go for a while. Anyway, so that was back there. That's for birds in the morning when they do those chores. So there's that. Yeah, the next thing that we'll do then is going to go down and get the paddles that have the peanuts in them. So again, I think I'm just going to run down there It'd be nice to, it's kind of bright down there. I'll put my shades on. Hang on. Go ahead and talk with your neighbors and friends here for a minute. All right. Well, I did heat up that coffee. Got caught up a little. And now I got to get these 3 feeders real quick. We'll do those and then I'll bring you down here with me. All right, well, here we are. I'm back. I got the 3 paddles. Now, these guys, hang on, I'll stack them up here. Gasket stack, and we got a paddle stack here. Anyway, normally you put suet in those. Well, I discovered that you can stuff peanuts in them, and they absolutely decimate it. So they're on there all day long. There isn't one nut left in there. Those are all empty shells. They get them all. I got a wastebasket behind you here. Yeah, stay the way you are. I haven't left the room. Oop. There we go. Smell-o-vision, mentioned that earlier. Back in the day, I worked in talk radio, 78 to 82. Produced a talk radio show with a guy named Bob Allard. He was quite a card. He liked to joke around. I'll tell you more about that kind of stuff later. But anyway, he would, long before there's any kind of technology, of course, we would get callers and he would be in a kind of a playful mood and probably I'd pick on a lady. He'd say, "Well, ma'am, welcome to the show. You look fabulous tonight." And she'd say, "Well, what do you mean?" Well, he'd say, "We got this new thing that's been added here at our new technology, added at the radio station. It's called Talk-O-Vision. So everybody that calls now, I can see them live in their homes." Every time, whoever was on the other end would do clunk. They hang up. Oh man, they were buying it. They were buying it. Talk-O-Vision. Yeah, we can see you. Well, eventually, of course, now we think that's child's play, but back then it wasn't. We used to dream about it. See it in cartoons, you know. Okay, here we go. Peanuts going down. I get the plunger out because that first group, I don't hit them real hard, but I like to tap them down a little so I can get as much in there as I can. All right, looking pretty good. These birds are going to be thrilled. All right. Stack them out there. All right, so we got those filled up. That's what we needed. Corn's good for now, right where it's at. I have to move this bag so I can get that lawnmower in here. Oh, should we? I'll just show you. I think it'll start on one pull. It did earlier. No, I haven't said that. It probably won't. Well, let's just see what the gas situation is. You hate to see that be the problem. And then we get enough in there to start it. So we did figure out, and I don't know if you saw a video on this yet or not, but we did figure out that we were missing a gasket in there that I didn't even know was missing, but figured that out. Had that in there, and in the kit, put it in. It still does some surging, but boy, it really took care of the starting. So let's just see. hear that surging. So there's some other options to look at for that, but I don't know. Ain't too worried about that. One pull. I like that. That's what we were going for. Beat up my car. So again, that was a new carburetor on there. And that's the first time I've ever done something like that. And it wasn't that hard. Okay. Let's go down and we'll set you up down there. Or maybe I'll just carry you. All right, hang on. All right, so here's a spot for this guy here. I don't know if you can see that or not, but oh, did you see that? I just hung that one up there. And then some peanuts fell out of that one. All right. Which other one? I think probably use this one up here. All right. So by the way, here's the corner. This is what I put down for the ducks and all the other critters down here. That's what they have. Hey, here's the garden, quick. Look at these onions. They are coming. And a whole bunch of them. 3 rows of them. They all look pretty good. You have to get some food on them, but they're looking pretty good. Flowers are looking pretty good over here. Now those herbs over there, you can tell the parsley's coming up in that little pile there. Anyway, let's look at these potatoes. Jeez. As you can see, I've been building hills around them. And I got them up pretty good now. Oh boy, they are. This is 4 weeks old. These potato plants. And I've held them up 3 times, I think. Something like that. Did you know these are chives? These blooms can be dehydrated and then ground up and used like a pepper type thing, and it'll create an onion flavor in that which you put them in. Potatoes, more and more and more. They keep going. Look at this. There's just a whole bunch. We should have lots of potatoes. Cucumbers, I'm kind of waiting for them to really kick it out. They're coming. This is the one that I put in last, if you can see it here. That was when I got real tiny. I thought I had to replace that first one over there, which then came back. So they're coming. Arkansas Little Leaf, these guys are called. There's a blossom on that one. I hope you can see that. I gotta get some food. Oh, there's another blossom on that one over there too. All right, well, that's good. Here we've got strawberry. Something came by and dined on some of these shoots here. That's how it goes. I don't think there's going to be anything left over for a guy. Been nice to have a berry or two. Something's having at them. Squirrels or whatever. Oh, guess what's coming up? Beans. And it's not this guy. Everything else you see in there that's green is beans coming up. They're just now, that's the first day I've seen them. They take 75-degree heat to come up in their soil. It's finally there. Oh, they're really going. Nice. Carrots, I'm giving up on them. I see no sign of them at all in here. I scraped away this morning to look and nothing. Nada. Hey, what are you gonna do? That's parsley that's green over there in that little row, but should be 2 different types of, well, if it comes up anyway, basil. And there's some oregano that should come up. Oregano is really a slow one. Not easy to grow. And then the tomato plants, check them out. They're doing really nice. They have flowers on them and growing good. I'm watching now. I'm going to have to, I'm not going to stake them up this year. I'm going to use some string and kind of build little, well, I'll show you after I do it, but I'm getting real close. They're starting to get bend over where they're almost over the wire, so I don't want them to do that. So I may just here in the next day or two will be out here putting string on there, keep them from touching the wires. Boy, they're really looking nice with some flowers on them. Ooh. They pollinate themselves, you know, just the wind will do it. And they require buzz pollinators like bumblebees, and there's a bunch of other types too that are buzz pollinators, they call them. Anyway, they're looking pretty good. All right, well, that's what I got. That's your garden update. That's 4 weeks worth there, week 4. Let's see if I can turn you around here a little bit and look at you. Hi. So, it'd be interesting to see coming up then in that August 8th. I don't know, I was talking about trying to do a live thing with cucumbers. Apparently, if you don't have 50 subscribers, then it's a hassle. And I don't think I'll have that, but anyway. So, probably won't do a live stream, but we still plan to do quite a bit of video for that. And again, that's canning cucumbers, pickles. Been doing it for 35 years. We thought we would give up the goods this year and let everybody know. Am I like eating this thing up? I don't know. So anyway, I was just at Menards today picking up all this stuff and looked at all their canning things that they had, wondering if there was something I should be buying right now, but fortunately there wasn't. So, you know, for people like us that can for so long, when COVID came along, and everybody wanted to can, yeah, that was tough on us. You know, we needed a certain amount of supplies and we couldn't find them. So in the few years following that, you know, whenever we found something we knew we'd need, you know, we'd buy it up. And of course, now it all seems to be back, and that doesn't appear to be any kind of an issue anymore. So, thank goodness. So anyway, but that's what we had here for today. I don't think I'm missing out on telling you about anything that I was going to tell about. How'd you like that mower, huh? One pull. She's going. That's really what I was shooting for. So the mower was a huge success. We got to check that off with a big green check. Done. The surging, it's always done. When you read about it, because AI, who is your friend, is, they tell you all about it. And I can see in there just what it is they're talking about. And a lot of what it is they say to look at next, it doesn't look like what I've got there is out of bounds or out of whack. So I may just live with that. The fact that it'll start with one pull, beautiful. I was having to pull it like 20 times to get it to start. It was taking in air, too much air. Gaskets, new gaskets. It was great. So anyway, well, that'll be it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good night.